Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel if you are new. Hello, my name is V. I post nail tutorials every Thursday and Sunday at 8:15 a.m. Central Time. Getting right into today's video, I did want to start off by just saying a quick little disclaimer. My client's nails are a little bit on the damaged side. She didn't properly remove her nails. She probably peeled them off. I don't know what the case is. I did not ask, but I did want to let you guys know so that you guys aren't questioning it or anything like that down below. If you are biting them off, peeling them off, or just pulling them off, this does rip layers off of your natural nail. So that's basically the damage that you are seeing. I ended up being out of the salon sick for one of the appointments she had scheduled. So that's kind of where it happened. It is not going to affect at all the application process. She still is able to get her nails done. It's not going to affect how long her nails last either. As long as you focus really well on your prep work, they should be good to go. Just make sure you're letting your clients know that this is not okay to do on a regular basis, as it can cause damage to your natural nail permanently, and you definitely do not want that. So getting started with the actual process, I am prepping the natural nail by gently, very gently buffing off the shine from her natural nail. I don't want to add any damage to what's already there, so make sure you guys take into consideration the speed of your e-file. I do have mine at 4,000 RPMs, and I feel like that's the perfect speed. Along with that, I'm using a mandrel bit and a sanding band from Profiles Backstage. I'm going to go ahead and repeat that on the other hand as well. And I'm just very gently, again, like I said, very gentle on the pressure, removing that shine off of the natural nail. This is just going to help with the adhesion and basically removing a little bit of that oil that your nail produces. Once I'm done removing the shine, I'm going in with my needle bit and going gently around the cuticles to remove any excess dead skin that I might have missed from my mandrel bit. This one is linked in my Amazon storefront. It is my all-time favorite. I've used it for a very long time, and I can definitely say that it is one of the best needle bits that I have used. I still have my e-file at a speed of 4,000 RPMs, very light on my pressure when working on the natural nail. Again, you want to make sure that you are not adding any dents or anything like that into the client's natural nail. Very gentle pressure and a low speed will help decrease that, as long as you have your e-file at the perfect angle. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish that off. I'm going in with my cuticle ball bit and gently buffing off the cuticle area. I do not like nipping, I don't like cutting, so if you are new to my channel, this is the best alternative for the cuticle area. It gently buffs it away. I have my speed on my e-file up to 5,000 RPMs at this point, and I have felt that that is a really good speed to fully get all of that off without having to struggle. And I'm using very light pressure once again on the cuticle. I do not want to cause any sort of discomfort for my client. Now, in order to prep her nails for the tip application, I am just lightly filing down the length of one of her nails, and then I'm kind of straightening out any other nails that have a little bit of length or any wonky shape to it. I want to make sure everything is super smooth, nice and cohesive. I like to basically trim the nails down as best as possible versus leaving length, especially when you're adding a tip to the natural nail. I feel like you get the better result that way. So I'm just using my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file for this step. And like I said, I'm just going in on any nails that need shaping up. I'm going ahead and applying my tips to her natural nail. These are the Not Polish Extra Long C-Curve tips in the square shape. And I'm just applying that with my Young Nails brush on glue. Any little areas that are kind of sticking up, I like to really press down and hold down until it is dry with my nail. And then if I do have any little air bubbles or anything like that, I go ahead and add a little bit more glue. You want to make sure that that tip is super secured onto her natural nail. You don't want any areas that can cause moisture to get trapped in there, because that can cause a greenie. So just a quick little disclaimer. So I am going ahead and trimming these tips. She did point out that she likes me cutting the middle finger before any other finger because it kind of gives her a better view of how long she wants them. So I went ahead and cut that, and then I went based off of that middle finger for the rest of the length of her nails. And then she normally gets her thumbs shorter, so I remembered and I asked her if she wanted me to trim them just a little bit more than the rest of the nails, and she said yes, so I went ahead and cut it a little bit more. I'm taking my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file and just lightly filing the sides and the tip of the nail. I want to make sure that it is nice and flush to the sidewalls of her natural nail. You want to make sure that the tip fits very, very well. And not only that, but I like to make sure that my shape is perfect before I get into my acrylic application. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my file and finish the rest of the nails, basically doing the exact same process on the rest. Now I am going in with a lint-free wipe and some swipe and cleaning the surface of the nail. This helps clean any excess dust along with dehydrate the nail properly for the acrylic application. So I'm just making sure that I'm basically rubbing it mostly on the natural nail area. Once the nails are clean and dehydrated, I am going in with my primer. This is a XXX Bond from Not Polish. Absolutely love this primer. I have had zero issues using it on my clients. They all come back with really good nails and very minimal lifting. So as long as you're getting your prep done right, make sure you guys use a good primer. Definitely recommend this one if you guys are in the market for one. I like to do 2 coats just to make sure that everything stays on perfectly. So if you also have lifting issues and you have your prep down perfectly, try adding a second layer of primer and you should be good to go. Now getting right into our acrylic application, my client has requested a basic nude set. I feel like I've been doing this a lot on my regular clients. They've absolutely loved coming in every 2 weeks, getting a fill and just changing the design up top, which I honestly feel like that's a really good way of getting the design on quicker. It minimizes, you know, having to change the background. And if you absolutely wanted to change it, you can always do gel polish as well, but my clients absolutely love the nude background just as much as I do. So I definitely have enjoyed that. So I am using First Nude from Not Polish and applying that as my base color. I have not shared this brush with you guys, so I'm going to talk a little bit about it. It is from Profiles Backstage. If you have not checked out their stuff, make sure to do so. Their products are really good quality, very inexpensive, and I just love the company altogether. So make sure you guys check them out. Use my discount code to save a little bit of money. I've talked about their brushes in the past and I absolutely love them. However, they have came out with a size 12, which is the size that I've been loving currently. That is new. It is black and I love it. It has a little bit of crystals near where the metal part is at, which also is really cute accent. And it is pre-pinched. I know a lot of you guys have inquired about pinching brushes. I personally don't pinch them if they do not come pinched, but I do love this one. It works well. I haven't had any issues with it and I've been using it quite a bit lately. So just a quick little insight on that. Now for my acrylic application, I like to focus on smaller portions better than bigger portions, especially if I'm doing long nails. With shorter ones, I'm all for doing 1 bead methods. Get it done quicker, they're in and out, done. But when it comes to longer nails, I want to make sure that I am building it out properly. So in order to do this, I get a medium-sized bead of acrylic, apply that basically where the tip meets the natural nail, and then I start blending it downwards towards the tip. And then we're going to take another medium bead of acrylic and apply it just slightly above the first one and then blend it down. And then lastly, we're going to be doing the cuticle area. Now, once I'm done with the cuticle area, I go ahead and infill any areas that I feel like need a little bit more thickness added to them. So for the cuticle area, another bead of size medium, and then I'm holding my finger in a downward position, gently blending all the acrylic together, making sure that the sides are nice and clean. And then this is where I'm just adding a little bit more thickness to even certain areas out. I don't add a crazy apex as most nail techs do. Whenever I am using the C-curve tips, I feel like you don't have to add a crazy apex. As long as everything looks good and smooth up top, I feel like you should be good to go. That is my personal opinion, and I talk about it a lot on my channel, that it is really important to find your methods that work for you and your client. I can tell you that this works for me and it might not work for you. So make sure you guys are always testing out what you like, what feels better, what your clients like, and then that will be the preferred method that you should use. So again, basically a 3-ball method, 1 at the tip, 1 in the middle, and 1 at the cuticle area. And then sometimes I add more thickness with a 4th, even 5th bead, just depending where and how much product I need to add in different areas. So again, I'm just cleaning up the sides. I like to try to keep my application as neat as possible. This minimizes your filing time. Once everything is nice and dry, I am tapping the nail to make sure that they are fully dry. We are using my Kiara Sky rechargeable e-file. I have now moved my speed up to 10,000 RPMs. Along with that, I'm using my 5-in-1 bit from Kiara Sky. It is my favorite. This one is rose gold, and they have tons of different color options and different grits as well. So I'm just going ahead and lightly filing the surface of the nail around the cuticle area, making sure that the cuticle is super flush. And then I am going vertically up and down the surface of the nail and making sure that everything is super smooth from the cuticle area down to the tip. So you want to make sure that you are using very light pressure, especially if you really focus on your acrylic application. Honestly speaking, I could probably get away with not filing the surface of the nail, but you just never know how imperfect a surface is until you actually file it super smooth. So you want to make sure you always still go in and file it at least very lightly. Again, around the cuticle area and then vertically up and down. I'm going to go ahead and finish that. Very, very light pressure, and you want to make sure you're holding the finger very steadily. You don't want it to skip at all and cause any sort of discomfort on your client. Once I'm done using my e-file, I am moving back to my hand file. This is a Tammy Taylor peel and stick file, and I'm going to be filing the sides of the nails. And then I'm going to be flipping the hand around to look at the nails from the client's perspective and fully filing that tip to make sure that the shape is super, super straight. Especially because these are square nails, you can make them look wonky, and you want to make sure that you really focus on the sides and the tip so that everything looks super even, and make sure you flip the hand around to catch any little areas that might need to be fixed that you might miss from your view. I'm going to go ahead and finish that on the rest of the nails. Now we are buffing the surface of the nail with my sponge buffer from Profiles Backstage. Whenever you are doing nail art, I definitely suggest you guys buff the surface of the nail. If you have any little creases, any ridges, any little areas that aren't super smooth, you'll be able to feel it when you're drawing, which makes it a little bit harder to work with. And not only that, the finished result won't look as smooth. So you want to make sure that you thoroughly buff the surface of the nail. Make sure that the surface is super smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm holding the finger very firmly. I feel like I've definitely smacked my client's finger with a buffer and the buffer has flown out of my hand. So make sure you guys are doing this very carefully. Hold everything perfectly and you should be good to go. Now we are cleaning the surface of the nail once again with a lint-free wipe and some swipe. This is going to help remove that dust that may have been left behind. You can absolutely have your client clean their hands with soap and water as well. However, I just prefer this method. It's a lot quicker. They stay in my chair and I don't have to worry about them kind of wandering around the salon. So I'm going to make sure that I fully clean that and remove all that dust. Now for our nail art, we are going to be doing like a layered swirl design, if that kind of makes sense. It's going to be tons of different colors. We're using gold, pink, light pink, and then like a coral color. And I'll share with you guys how I mix the colors if I mix them. But this gold is from the gel paint collection from Not Polish. It was the one that she liked the best. I talk about really all of my gel paints and how important it is to have a good variety of different colors, because there's gold, there's like a silver gold, there's a white gold, like there's just so many types of different hues and all that stuff with every single color. So you want to make sure you have a lot of options. Of course you can mix some, however I feel like with golds they're super specific and you can't really mix them with anything else to change the color. So I do like having a variety of these. I'm just going in and applying that randomly on the nail. This is going to be like a layered kind of swirled effect. So I'm starting off with one color. You honestly do not have to start with the gold. It was just the one that I kind of picked up first, so I went with it. So I'm placing those lines onto the nail and then we're going to be going in with the second color. I am curing in between colors. While I am curing this hand, I'm working on the other hand. You will not see the process on the other hand just because it's the exact same design. So I figured I would just show you this one, but just letting you guys know I am curing in my Kiara Sky rechargeable LED light for a full minute while I'm working on the other hand. Now, I also wanted to apologize for the lack of air that I have in my lungs. I've been struggling doing this voiceover, so bear with me. If you hear me that I'm out of breath, I definitely am. This pregnancy it's moving along. It's moving along. So for this pink, this one is actually from Kiara Sky from their gel art collection. I actually made a video using those and I absolutely love them. Definitely recommend them. I love the colors, the pigmentation, the bottles, everything is super perfect. So make sure you guys check out that video if you guys are interested on all of the thoughts on that. But I actually took some of that pink out of the bottle, placed it on like a little tile thing that I have. And I'm using it with my same nail art brush that I used with the gold. I just feel like For my liking, this brush has a special place in my heart. So whenever I try using any other nail art brushes, it's really hard for me. This one's just like the perfect thickness. The bristles are great. Like I don't have to, like I know it has it my back, so I don't ever want to mess with it. So I opted for not using the brush that comes in the bottle, and I'm just using my regular old crusty nail art brush that you guys see in the majority of my videos. But this color is super cute, and this is gonna be the darker color that we're using, and then the other ones are gonna be lighter. Again, curing that in the light for a full minute. Now moving on to our third color. This one is that first pink that I used mixed with white. And I am mixing the pink from the Kiara Sky with my frosting gel paint from Profiles Backstage in the color white, just to get a lighter pink shade. Again, adding that onto another part of the nail as another accent. And then we're going to be curing it once again in between this color and moving on to the next one. Now for our last color, it is like a corally orangey salmony pink. She did ask for like a peachy color, so this is what I came up with. This was mixed from the orange color from the gel art collection from Kiara Sky, and I mixed that with the white from Profiles Backstage. So I basically mixed it to the point where I thought the color would look good and flow well with the pinks that we were using. And of course, I made sure that she liked it. Sometimes she will have me add a little bit more of whatever color, like either to make it darker or lighter, just depending on what she has in her vision. So make sure you guys are always asking your clients and making sure whatever you are doing works well. You definitely don't want to get to the end and then them complain about something. So I'm always making sure that I'm checking with them and making sure that they are okay with what I'm doing. So I'm just adding that intertwined into all of the other colors. And then at the end, I'm going to be curing that in the light for a full 2 minutes. I want to make sure that all the layers are fully cured before I go in with my top coat. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that off very quickly, and then we'll be back top coating the nails. Now, per my client's request, she did ask for a matte background and the lines and the color is going to be shiny. If she had mentioned this at the beginning of me doing her nails, I would have added a full matte top coat to the top of my nude acrylic, and then I would have done the design and added the shiny top coat just to the design. But she did not decide this until I asked her if she wanted matte or shiny, so that is perfectly okay. I did mention to her that it might take just a little bit longer to apply the top coat because I had to go in, you know, in different sections, and she was fine with it. I mean, I was fine with it. It didn't bother me. But if you guys are doing this on a client and you want the same effect, I would definitely suggest you just go ahead and add the matte top coat before you go in with the nail art. It will make your life a little bit easier, trust me. So I'm taking Matte It from Not Polished, and I just applied a good bit onto my little tile that I use for my paints. And then I'm taking my same nail art brush and really just applying that to any nude areas that are exposed on the nail. And then once I'm done carefully applying that, we are placing that in the light for a full minute. And then once we are done, we're going in with our shiny top coat.
This is for my day ones. Don't forget the ones that made ya. Deep side sweating out flavor. This is for my day ones. Day one. Showed up. Day one before the glow up. Don't need to ask for them, show love. Don't need to ask for them, show love. Show love. Izquierda para derecha, dale bien pacha.
Once we're out of the light and the background is fully matte, I'm going in with the glossy top coat from Not Polished. Again, same process. I added a good amount on my little tile and grabbing that with my nail art brush and just applying that over the nail art portion. It wasn't that hard, honestly speaking, because it was quite a simple design. I feel like if you had like tiny little dots like all over it, it'd probably be a pain, but this wasn't too bad. And I love how the design turned out with the contrast of the background. So I'm going ahead and applying that as best as possible. And then again, we're going to be placing it in the light this time for 2 minutes. I like to make sure that everything is fully cured, so I add it in there for an extra minute just to be safe.
Don't need to ask for them, show love. Don't need to ask for them, show love. Show love. Ooh, take it back to when nobody used to know me. Like tell you I was just chilling with my homies. Now that we're popping, everybody is talking. This is for my day ones. Don't forget the ones that made ya. Deep side sweating out flavor. This is for my day ones. Day one. This is for my day ones. Don't forget the ones that made ya. Deep side sweating out flavor. This is for my day ones. Day one.
Now the finishing touch is always some cuticle oil, and I love my Profiles Backstage cuticle oil. It is not super oily and it sinks right into the skin, which I absolutely love. I don't have to rub it in too much because it does the job on its own. So I'm just gently kind of blending that out towards the rest of her fingers. And it smells so good. So make sure you guys check out their cuticle oils. They are my absolute favorite.
Day one. This is for my day ones. Don't forget
That basically concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned a ton, and I will see you guys next time.
day one. Izquierda para derecha, dale bien pacha. Yo quiero que tú bailes, dale sin parar. Todo mundo, hey, quiero vacilar. Shake it, and I'll throw it right back.